Hi, I'm Carol Harvey, and I'm interviewing Paul Currier. This is part 2. We're talking about the community congress that was that convened on Saturday and Sunday, August 14th and 15th, 2010, at University of San Francisco Fromm Center. Paul is going to explain, because he thinks this is an extremely important event that occurred, and so do I.
Right, it was huge.
It was huge.
All right.
Wait. I want to explain what you're going to explain. There was a major category, and underneath that, 4 components of this category.
All right, I'll run with
that
it.
Okay.
I got it. Now, we had 4 categories that we talked about in the Citizens Congress.
What was the major heading, and then you're going to talk about the 4 components.
The 4 major headings, I'm going to talk about one of them on economic development. The 4 major headings were economic development, affordable housing, health and human services, and our transportation as a city. These are all local issues. They're critical to the 600,000 to 3,250,000 people that live here in San Francisco.
So what's the one
and the one that I'm going to discuss right now is economic development.
Okay.
And there's 4 subheadings in there so in the economic development section of the Congress, we covered the San Francisco's new municipal bank owned by the citizens of the people of San Francisco, independent of any Wall Street bank or independent of federal banks, our own local bank that we would own, that we could fund and have asset-based funding and work on projects that are important here to San Francisco and not have to seek funding elsewhere because we can self-fund our own projects and our own government and our own services.
This was a proposal.
Huge. This is huge, and
there's funding for it.
Right, and there's a municipal development corporation. So the bank is one aspect of it. The municipal development corporation is another aspect of it.
And what's the focus of the municipal development corporation?
And the municipal development bank can only do banking.
Right.
All right. So the municipal development corporation can undertake projects. For instance, the funding of local cooperative housing. If a group of tenants wanted to buy a building from a slumlord that had maybe 100 or 500 apartments, they could then set up a co-op and buy that, and the Municipal Development Corporation would fund it or be an entity that the co-op could then work with for funding of their project. It could also be if somebody wanted to get funding for a whole series of different projects. So the development corporation is like one aspect of economic development. The other aspects are this idea of a think tank to allow people in San Francisco to work with ideas that we want to implement here in San Francisco. And so there's the think tank, and the fourth component of the economic development is this idea of funding the community choice aggregation, or San Francisco Citizens Power, so that we can eventually remove the monopoly PG&E from we pay all of our money to for power, and we don't need to do that if we were paying attention to some of the teachings of Nikola Tesla and stuff. Power should be free and available to everybody. So in San Francisco, we're trying to do some of these things, and these are the 4 subcomponents that are spelled out clearly in our Citizens Congress document for 2010.
That is superb. It's very exciting, and this is a completely grassroots effort.
It is grassroots, and the people that participated, there was 250 people on there. Executive directors, the workers' cooperatives participated in just and living wage ideas, and workers owning their own means of production of their own service providing businesses. So, and this is not to disrespect anybody that is an investor, so to speak, but this is to allow people that actually own their own sources of livelihood, and there's a lot of so there was a lot of good people. A lot of the nonprofits developed. A lot of the nonprofits showed up. I call them there are people involved in homeless activists who were there to try to eliminate homelessness in San Francisco.
I'm one of them, and so are you.
Right, and so there was an awful lot of people that not only have levels of expertise, but also people that were major players in large stakeholder groups throughout the city and county of San Francisco that came together. So this isn't like ad hoc bunch of people that just decided not to watch TV one night. These are people that have been working for decades in their areas of expertise that all came together.
And they know the city. They know the city, and they know the city's challenges.
Right, and we know our commissions, and we know our structure, and we know our city charter, and we know there were a number of the supervisors that were there. Like I said, I'm running for mayor. There's a number of the candidates and people that will be supervisors.
I think Deborah Walker was there.
Eric Marr, our supervisor, was present.
Raphael Mandelman came.
That's true. Janet Kim was there. There's a number of the candidates that were present. Chris Jackson, who's running in Bayview Hunters Point, and also very, very instrumental in San Francisco solar power efforts and stuff, and a lot of the green energy work.
Do you remember the names of anybody who were involved in solar power and green energy?
Chris Jackson was present. Eric Smith and the guys from I forget the name of the group. I want to say San Francisco for. I don't know. I'm working without my notes. So
it's okay because there's a website. Do you know the website? And then we'll end if you know what the website is.
What, for the Congress?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any of those. I don't have any of those.
Well, you know what I'll do? On the video, I'll post what the website is right on the video.
And it's a WordPress document, and we're waiting for the document that we all worked on, the actual formal document's about to be published. So we're in this state where we've done the Congress, all the work is done, and now the final wordsmithing and polishing the editing and the presentation for the Internet is being done now, and then it will be put out for all of you YouTubers, you alternate media people, you student journalists, and I also want to speak out specifically to the students across the state of California. We're organizing something here in San Francisco, and it's so important that all the students in the California State University system and the UC campuses pay attention to what we're doing, because the call to actions are going out, because we're going to change the whole state, and we need your help. We need your help.
So get involved. Get involved. Thank you, Paul.